Yo, what's good, Spirit Squad? Today we're going to dive into a little bit more of Azorius Spirits in Pioneer, and this has been a deck that I've seen some success with recently, which has been really nice. However, in our last version of the deck, we'll notice that looking at our spreadsheet of wins and losses, that I lost quite a bit against exactly Rakdos Midrange and not too much of anything else. So that's what we're going to go ahead and kind of tune the deck around to see what we can do with what the metagame looks like. What I've done here is kept our 22 land mana base, except I've completely taken the Mutavaults out of it. That means that we're going to have a lot fewer early game mulligans because of it. And to that effect, I've added a second copy of Hall of Storm Giants here. And Hall of Storm Giants as a finishing land, not that fantastic in this deck. You generally don't actually want to have enough mana to activate the Hall of Storm Giants, but it's a great way to close a game if you do end up flooding just that hard. What we've also done here is put Slip Out the back in the deck, where previously I was playing other things like multiple copies of Spell Pierce, some Selfless Spirits in the main, but no, we're just going to go with the mono blue plan. The only white card that's actually going to be in the main is the Spell Queller. As we saw in previous versions of the deck where I was just playing mono blue, which is still listed right here, we'll notice that we had copies of Slip Out the back, we had Nebelgast Heralds in the main, and I had quite a decent amount of success against Rakdos as a result of those things. So we're going to be going right back to that Nebelgast Herald part of the plan. That's going to be it for the main deck. Other than that, nothing terribly special. In the sideboard, this is where all the fun stuff lives. Because we have Seachrome Coast back in the deck, we're going to be able to play cards like Skyclave Apparition out of the sideboard. However, I don't really think we want 4 of this card, so we're just going to be starting out with 2 of them, and then seeing if that's really the route to go with from there. We've got 2 copies of Selfless Spirit, which is great against decks like Blue-White, but also decks like Dimir Control are playing cards like Ritual of Soot, so is Rakdos Midrange, out of the sideboard, on top of all of the removal that Rakdos already plays, and on top of all of the removal that Dimir plays, but Dimir also plays Extinction Event, so sometimes this will be great, sometimes it'll be medium, but medium's probably better than like this against a deck with only Shark Typhoonist creatures. We've got 4 copies of Portable Hole here, and this is going to help some with the aggressive decks. Not really too much to be said there, but do know that Hammer Time counts as an aggressive deck now, and that's something that I also kind of want to look into. Spoilers, we got a list right here. But let's go ahead and check out the rest of the sideboard. We've got 3 copies of Aethergut and 2 copies of Mystical Dispute, neither of which are really new to this list. This is a card that we've played in Mono Blue before. This is a card I will play in future iterations of Spirits. Both of them are just really good. And the cool thing, we're going to be trying out 2 copies of Dragonlord Ojutai against the control decks and against Rakdos Midrange. So the idea behind Dragonlord Ojutai is that it's just a giant flying beater, which is already something we're pretty happy about, right? But it's got hexproof as long as it's untapped, which is going to be super relevant against things like Rakdos Midrange, which is going to aim to kill this thing with various removal spells, like Dreadbore and friends. But Dragonlord Ojutai dodges a lot of the removal that these decks are playing. Rakdos, for example, can kill it with Dreadbore if you get to attack with it, but Dreadbore is sorcery speed, so by the time you attack with it, it's already done its job. It's effectively drawn a card, it's done its 5 damage, it's still a threat, and you probably have a spirit or 2 on the battlefield that your opponent's still trying to solve. The other cool thing about Dragonlord Ojutai is that, well, it's a dragon. That means Power Word Kill has no text against this card. And since it's a 5-drop, neither does Fatal Push. So your opponent's really going to have to dig deep and do some real work to get Dragonlord Ojutai off the table. It's not impossible. They still play things like Rending Volley, which will kill a 4 toughness creature. They still play things like Dreadbore, which can hit Ojutai after Ojutai hits them. They still have access to things like Blood Tithe Harvester if they have 2 blood tokens. So they can get rid of Ojutai, but it's going to be really difficult. So that's our entire job against that, is to make their life difficult. And I think Dragonlord Ojutai is going to be our way to do that. So that's enough rambling. Let's go ahead and play 5 matches in a league. I'll see y'all in round 1. Today's video brought to you by FusionGamingOnline.com, your one-stop shop for all your gaming needs. Welcome to round one. We are on the play with a fairly excellent opening hand. All right, I'm here for this. So we don't win the die roll, which is a little unfortunate for this hand, but I'm not exactly sad. So, oh no, never mind. I'm a liar. I'm very sad. Oh crap. So Gilded Goose usually means that we're going to be stuck facing down a Mayhem Devil at some point, and that is exactly the last thing I want to be looking at currently. Okay, so there's a Catacomb Sifter, so it is good that that's not a Mayhem Devil at the very least, but here it looks like we're probably gonna have to do some real work to get out of all of this. So what can I do? I can just go ahead, equip the CO, see what I draw as far as a land drop goes. If I draw, for example, a Seachrome Coast, I would rather play that than Hengegate Pathway. But first, let's start with this. So yes, I would like to draw a card. Was not, but I'm still gonna go ahead and play Mausoleum Wanderer. This will help protect against like a Collected Company this turn, but I won't lie and say I am currently comfortable. If we untap with both of these creatures in play, then honestly I feel like we're probably fine. But I feel like that's a kind of big if. Overgrown Tomb number 2 into a what? A Priest of Forgotten Gods. Okay, so that'll make me pretty glad for the Spectral Sailor being in play. Because I do want to make sure I have things in play that I don't necessarily care about being sacrificed. So I'm mostly okay with this. Are you sorcery speed only? You are not. I should know that. I have this deck in Explore. Okay, so beep beep, Goose goes under the bus. They get to scry, which is fairly obnoxious, not gonna lie. But what I'm gonna get to do here post-combat is play the Mausoleum Wanderer. Then I'm holding up a combination of double Wanderer, and then Spectral Sailor can come into play. This helps us to play around a Coco, even though they can sacrifice and get mana for it. So let's do that. And I like doing that post-combat because in the event that we drew a land and they didn't block the Spectral Sailor, then I might have had a little bit of a better play with 3 mana rather than 2. But here, let's see what ends up happening first. Tyvar. Okay. Well, I can't do anything about that, unfortunately, so they're just going to get to do the thing. So now they can, I don't know, like attack with this, untap, and maybe like sacrifice this to not lose loyalty, or they can simply reanimate Gilded Goose. Either one is a pretty decent option for them. And then I'll still be pretty glad for the ability to like Spectral Sailor, sacrifice Spectral Sailor to the Priest of Forgotten Gods, untap, play a spirit, and then have Mausoleum Wanderers with 2 power apiece. Those should help bully our opponent's life total / Tyvar. Okay. I should have let them scry first, if I'm being honest. That actually was a bit of a mistake. Because now they have a little extra information that I didn't really want to give them. Red mana. Wolf Rider. Okay. Phew. Still not Mayhem Devil. They can untap Priest of Forgotten Gods and do this thing again, making me sacrifice one of the Mausoleum Wanderers. So that's kind of on my radar currently. Let's see if they choose to do that. And it looks like that is going to be a thing they do. So let's get rid of one of the Mausoleum Wanderers. They have 2 mana now. Let's see if this 2 mana can generate 2 more creatures. And no, it can't, which is great for just me. Geistlight Snare is actually kind of really helpful. So here, I'm going to let them keep the Tyvar around, but I suppose I should pressure it. So let's think about that. No, I've got a Geistlight Snare in hand. I'm going to smack their face and then try to make a land drop and press my advantage here. So I'm actually not going to attack with the Mausoleum Wanderer here, because if I draw a land, then I want to play the Shacklegeist holding up the Geistlight Snare. And we do. So that is what's going to happen here. We already have a stop set in their upkeep, so now I'm going to get to tap down the Priest of Forgotten Gods, and they can untap it with Tyvar, but that means that they have to choose between untapping and reanimating. Let's let our opponent make their unhappy choice here, and hopefully my Geistlight Snare is going to be pretty useful here. Mill 3 cards, then reanimate. You got it. So they can choose between Llanowar Elves and Gilded Goose. Mayhem Devil is in the graveyard, exactly where it should be. So they probably just get like a Gilded Goose, right? Yeah. So now the Gilded Goose gives a little bit of protection here. Woestrider can meet a counterspell. And I do want to take notice of the fact that Woestrider can be escaped next turn, because they're going to have the 4 extra cards in the graveyard, and this makes a 5th mana here. So I'm not completely out of the water yet, but I can't lie and say I think I'm doing super poorly anymore. Rattle Chains is medium? Yeah, let's just go ahead and get some attacks in. So how do I want to do this? I think I want to use you to pressure Tyvar, you to pressure Tyvar, you to pressure Face, and then they have to make a choice. Yeah, let's do that. Face, Planeswalker, Planeswalker. Yeah. Oh, they're just going to let the Planeswalker die, and I get to draw the card for free? Sick, let's do that. And it's a white land. Perfect. So now our Spell Queller's on. So what do I want to do here? I think the answer might be nothing. Now, they're at 11. They do have ways to make our life a little bit miserable, but oh, hell yeah, that's gonna rock. So what can I do here? I can play a Rattle Chains. Playing Rattle Chains tempts them into casting a Collected Company. In response, I can put the other Rattle Chains into play, pump the Mausoleum Wanderer, counter the Collected Company, tap the Gilded Goose, untap, get a big attack in. Yeah, let's do that. There's the Collected Company. There's the second Rattle Chains. Okay. So I guess you can have Hexproof. See if anything bad happens to that. No. Cool. Okay. Pay 2 mana for your Collected Company. So now it's Rattle Chains number 2 actually resolves. Let's put the Shacklegeist into Hexproof land, I guess. Tap down the blocker and see if we can't draw Supreme Phantom for the turn. No, but not bad. So now we get to draw 2 cards, and I get to make a sweet choice between just doing 5, taking them down to 6, having lethal next turn, and a Shacklegeist activation. I think I would rather do that than attack all and let them use Priest of Forgotten Gods. So let's just do that, draw extra cards, pressure the crap out of them with the with the Shacklegeist, and make life generally pretty miserable. I don't really plan on double spelling there, so let's just pass the turn. So now if they put a creature into play, I can Shacklegeist tap this down in response. If they don't put a creature in play, I can Shacklegeist tap down their blocker. So either way, I'm fairly happy with this. Okay, looks like we're doing nothing, and you doing nothing, opponent, is completely cool with me. So let's tap down you, see if you want to respond with a Collected Company. If so, I have a Spell Queller. Okay, there's a company, here's the Spell Queller, and they're done. Hell yeah. So that's going to be game 1 against them. Here I want Portable Holes, I want Skyclave Apparitions, and I want Aether Gust. Cards I do not want include Nebelgast Herald. I know that we just saw Priest of the Forgotten Gods, but I'm still taking out Shacklegeist. And honestly, Spell Queller's a little bit medium. That does put me a little low on creatures, though. So instead of that, let's take out the Spell Pierces and put 2 Shacklegeists back in. This way I at least have a decent amount of creatures that can still carry the Curious Obsessions. Because honestly, Skyclave Apparition is not a card that I consider able to carry a Curious Obsession. So let's do this. 1 landers are going back. And this hand is not bad. So I'm going to keep this hand, put back 1 of the 2 Supreme Phantoms. Yeah, I think this is alright. We've got Blooming Marsh. Are we a Thoughtseize? Are we a cat? We are a nothing. Okay. So now let's see what they do on turn 2. They could just play a Priest, or they could play a nothing. I, of course, as your opponent, prefer if you played nothing, but instead we have a Priest. So here's a Spectral Sailor. A Darker Waste is not exactly the draw I wanted. It's not terrible. It's just not what I wanted. So here I'm going to go ahead and get an attack in. Not like I'm holding Shacklegeist to tap this down or anything right now, so I don't mind just getting an attack in. And I don't want to play Supreme Phantom here. Instead, I want to give myself the option of either Rattle Chains or Aether Gust. Blood Crypt comes into play. That seems like Woe Strider, because it is. You got it. I don't like it, but you got it. Okay, and I will still cast my Rattle Chain, so let's see if you want to use Woe Strider as fodder for this now. Okay, so I'm going to give it self-hexproof. So now if they want... Oh, sick. So I'm just going to get to untap. Yeah, and Aether Gust is the draw. So here I'm going to simply play you as a blue source, get an attack in. We are getting into pretty dangerous territory. I really want a 4th piece of mana here, but I simply don't have it because I'm on a draw. That way I'd be able to double spell, but currently that's not exactly the life we get to live. I also would have really loved a Portable Hole for this Priest. Like, this thing's going to annoy the crap out of me. And if this is a Mayhem Devil, please get the absolute fuck out of my face. So downside here is that if they have a red land drop, they can just use Priest of the Forgotten Gods. So like, Priest makes me sack this, they get 2 black mana, draw a card, and then the red mana still casts. So if that's going to be what happens, then I am just dead. But thank God, it looks like that's not what's going to happen. And if I can manage to draw a Portable Hole or a Geistlight Snare, I will be very happy to get rid of that freaking Mayhem Devil. Okay, so looks like that's still going to be what happens here. Please do not have a red land. Oh, well, that still sucks, but okay. That's not great for us, but okay, the land was green, so I at least get a turn of not being stuck dealing with the Mayhem Devil. So let's go ahead and do this. Spectral Sailor is actually kind of an okay draw. I'm going to play the Supreme Phantom. We get to Aether Gust once again on the Mayhem Devil, and then try to untap and then see if we come up with enough gas to deal with it. I think we took out the Spell Quellers, right? 1, 2, 3 Spell Quellers are out. So there is still a Spell Queller. There's still up to one more copy of Aether Gust. We've got 4 Geistlight Snares. There's still plenty of ways to get rid of this Mayhem Devil. And they are down to 1 card, which is kind of important. So let's see if I can draw a real counterspell. No, but please do not Fatal Push. Okay, good. I'm like, if Fatal Push is the last card, I'm going to be really sad. So now let's yes and yield. Rattle Chains. You know what? That might not be that bad. Now I can Rattle Chains, protect Supreme Phantom from anything too terrible happening. If they have, that could suck. Okay. So they have to mill if they want to get a creature in play. Prosperous Innkeeper is actually kind of good because it lets them cast a Mayhem Devil. Damn, that sucks. So to get to cast a Mayhem Devil, Mayhem Devil can be killed off using the Priest. So I'm going to do this first. This way I'm guaranteed to have the creature I actually want as the sacrifice target. If they want to get rid of both of these to get rid of my Spectral Sailor, now that choice sucks for them. They're allowed. It just sucks. So now I'm going to do this. Protect my Spectral Sailor from the 2 Mayhem Devil triggers. Yes, both of them have been declared. And now I'm going to sacrifice the Rattle Chains because I want Spectral Sailor to be able to draw me cards. So now what does this last card do? Nothing. It's a land. Shoo! All right. I think we have dodged. Oh, hell yeah. Let's go. That's exciting. So now I get to draw 2 more cards. Spectral Sailor is going to get to kill Tyvar, and Mayhem Devil has effectively been dealt with thanks to my opponent trying to clear my board. 1, 2, Hall of Storm Giants is not the worst draw, and I like putting this in play rather than using Hallowed Fountain as a chance to like draw a card. Actually, no, I think that was wrong. I probably should have just played this untapped and tried to draw a card. They can escape Woe Strider and make me sacrifice Spectral Sailor? That sucks. So hopefully their draw after doing that is not just like a Fatal Push or something for my Supreme Phantom. That would really suck. Oh, they tapped this instead of tapping the other source. That's actually good for me. So if they had left this untapped, then they could have cast a, fuck. All right, well, that sucks. They could have cast a Mayhem Devil, but it looks like they got Abrupt Decay anyway, so looks on me. They just made the right choice. Little did I know they had it the whole time. Oh, well, you're about 45 turns late, but you know what? It's something. Let's play you tapped, and now I only need 1 more land to start attacking with the Hall of Storm Giants, so that is not an irrelevant win condition. What's this? Coco. No! Double Woe Strider? Jeez. All right, well, yeah, no. Oh dear. Well, that's not going to get me too far. So I'm going to end up taking 6 here. And what can I really do about this? I suppose I could draw a Nebelgast Herald over the next turn, but now they can escape the 3rd Woe Strider as well. So I might just be SOL. We might be going to a game 3, y'all. And an Innkeeper, so we've got life gain on top of all of this. Now they can do this and gain 2 life going to 12. I will give myself another draw step, but I'm pretty sure we're just dead. And realistically, I actually don't even know what I could draw to get out of this. I think the answer might actually be nothing, but let's untap and try. Yeah, didn't think so. Okay, so now we're going to be on the play for game 3. And do I want to make any changes given what I've seen now? I think the answer on the play. Since I'm on the play, I think I want to put the Spell Quellers back in the deck. Are there any other changes I want to make? I think the answer is no. Yeah, no. I'll just leave this as is. So the Skyclave Apparition is, I think, a little better on the draw than it is on the play here, right? Because in the event that I have to deal with something like a Mayhem Devil or a Woe Strider, it's usually going to be because I'm on the back foot from being on the draw. But being on the play, I get to effectively use the stack to try to get rid of it. Oh my god, this is bad. All right, that's a lot better. So I can keep this, and I can try to draw myself into just like a copy of CO because I've got counter spells. I've got 1 drop, 2 drop. So like this is nowhere near as bad as it could be. And it is nice that our opponent mulled as well. So it looks like it's not going to be just us here. So let's go ahead and play our pathway, get ready to pass the turn, and see what our opponent wants to do. Blooming Marsh into a, looks like nothing. So I will give them the opportunity to Fatal Push if they have it, but it looks like they don't. And another Spectral Sailor is actually not bad. I do like that. So now that my Spectral Sailor has survived and has gotten to attack once, I'd really love to just draw a CO here. And I will be fairly happy to counter that. If they immediately come back at me with a copy of Mayhem Devil, then whatever, I got. Same goes for a Tyvar, but I'd rather keep it off the table than not, right? Another option that I could have had there too was to maybe let this resolve and then counter like a 3-drop, playing Rattle Chains instead. But I think I'm okay with this currently, unless this is a Mayhem Devil, in which case I just feel fucking stupid. Catacomb Sifter. Okay, so I'm actually mostly okay with a Catacomb Sifter by itself. So let's go ahead and play our thing, make our board a little better. Slip out the back is actually not bad. And now we get to attack. I also have an instant speed Mausoleum Wanderer that can play around a copy of Collect a Company too. So even if they make a land drop here and just go to Coco, right? I can go Mausoleum Wanderer, Spectral Sailor. Mausoleum Wanderer has 2 power, and then use that to counter a Coco. Here, I can also Mausoleum Wanderer, then Spectral Sailor, growing the Mausoleum Wanderer, and then using it to block the Scion token for free. I think I actually like that. Let's do that. So if they have a removal spell for the Mausoleum Wanderer, then honestly, it's almost whatever. Oh no. Okay, so they're gonna Coco now. That sucks. You know what? Actually, I think I could have played around that. Oh, that wasn't smart. Well, I did that to myself. So let's see if the spin isn't that good then. It actually wasn't that good. Okay. So I think I can still Spectral Sailor here then, and then double block the Catacomb Sifter, making them choose between killing this and killing this. And yeah, I think trading my Mausoleum Wanderer for a Catacomb Sifter isn't even that bad. So if I'm being real, that wasn't actually good by any means, but I think I'm still mostly okay with the way that went. So let's untap now. Oh, all right. Well, that's good. So let's do that. Make them block with Gilded Goose if they want to not deal with my bullshit for a turn. And if they do let it hit, then I get to hopefully draw like a counterspell or something nice. Okay, they don't want to deal with that, so they're going to take 3. I have Slip out the back, and I am still stuck on the land, which sucks, but I knew that was an option when I put it at the bottom, so I'm pretty sure I put a land at the bottom on my deck. I already don't remember if I'm being honest. But let's see if this ends up being good enough here. So things they can resolve that are scary include a Mayhem Devil is just terrifying. Like, that card just scares the shit out of me currently. Oh, hell yeah, that's gonna work. So hopefully this isn't just like a Fatal Push. That would really suck. Please do not just be like a Fatal Push. Phew. All right, we danced around that. I still take 3 here. I go to 15. They can, I don't know, Thought Seize me maybe. But so far, I'm currently winning the life total race too, which is nice. So let's, I don't know, draw like a Geistlight Snare or a Spell Queller plus a land. There's the land. Okay, now I'm attacking for 6. They go down to 4 if nothing else happens here. Looks like that is what's going to happen. So now a Mausoleum Wanderer. I actually think that's not bad. So I'm going to play it now, and that helps me to play around the Collect a Company line once more. So got a little bit of work to do if they want to get out of this, but something like the Meat Hook Massacre can just clean up my entire board in one go. So I'm not out of it if they have exactly like land plus Meat Hook Massacre, but most other problems are currently solved. What else can they do? They can resolve Tyvar. Tyvar buys back Priest of the Forgotten Gods. I'm okay with that. I'm not doing anything to this. I'll just take my 3. And they're off it. Hell yeah. So we win against the Mayhem Devil deck to start off this league, and that is already great news. Let's move to round 2. Welcome to round 2. We are on the play with a pretty acceptable hand. I do really want to CO with this hand, but I'm not exactly complaining. So let's go ahead and see what our opponent is playing. Lair of the Hydra. So this could be boats, it could be Mono Green Devotion. Either way, this matchup doesn't exactly make me sad. Nebelgast Herald is fairly good in both. Now let's draw CO. Come on. Not quite, not bad. So here I'm just going to develop my Supreme Phantom. I will worry about whether this is Devotion or Gruul later. So if this is Devotion, I wanted to do that because if they... Whoa, Blooming Marsh. Is this just elves? Kiora? Opponent? Is this maybe a Tyvar combo? I don't know what I'm watching anymore. Battle Chains. If I'm being honest, not a great draw. So let's go ahead and simply get an attack in here. So I am going to be sad if my opponent comes at me with just like a Coco, but at least I can Geistlight Snare it. But I currently have no idea what my opponent's doing. Okay, there's a basic forest. Karn. Okay, so it is Devotion just with Blooming Marsh? Weird. They already made a land drop too, so I'm not worried about a Nykthos coming down. So let's just counterspell Karn. And then, honestly, not even be all that sad about this. And it looks like they don't have a follow-up. I still don't get another land, which is gonna be miserable in a turn or two. Yeah, like a third land with this kind of draw would have been really nice, because establishing the Nebelgast Herald, regardless of most of the other stuff they resolved, would have been absolutely A1. Pathways too? So his opponent just like not playing Old Growth Troll at all? I think that's the case. I think our opponent just simply isn't playing any copies of Old Growth Troll. And if I don't draw a third land, I am in some non-zero amount of danger here. They do just have another Karn, which, well, sucks. I get to kill Karn with Rattle Chains next turn and then protect from a Sky Sovereign with a second Rattle Chains, but that doesn't necessarily make me happy. I still want to draw a third land for this Nebelgast. If so, then I am pretty much fully insured against said Sky Sovereign. And it looks like that is what they're going to grab. They have not played a land or really done anything else. Also not going to attack, which is nice for me. Okay, so I am going to play one of my 3 Rattle Chains, establish a bigger board presence here. I don't know, give itself Hexproof. And there's our third land. Okay, so I can now kill Karn, deal 3 damage to their face, and I have a combination of Slip Out the Back plus Nebelgast Herald, and can still Rattle Chains in response to the Sovereign as well. Okay, yeah. I actually like our position quite a bit. So I doubt this opponent is playing any copies of like Fatal Push in a main or anything like that, but on the ridiculously off chance they are, then I'll still be glad for like the Slip Out the Back to be here. What is this? Okay, so there's a Sky Sovereign. I can't counter it, so it's going to resolve, and they will get to target my Supreme Phantom. I can protect it, and then I can worry about whether I care about the Slip Out the Back later on. Oh, they're actually going to target Rattle Chains. So let's protect it with Clone of Itself and see if they don't just pack it up here. They do. Sick. So Mono Green Devotion. I do want Aether Gusts. I do want Portable Holes. I do not really care about Slip Out the Back and Rattle Chain. I need to make one more cut here. I guess I'm fine only playing 3 Portable Holes. Okay. We are on the draw for game 2. This hand is definitely going back, and this hand is actually a lot better, even though it's also a 1-lander. So I'm going to put back one of these 2 Spectral Sailors, and the combo of Spectral Sailor plus CO and maybe even Spell Pierce should be pretty good. Of course, I do want multiple lands, but as far as 1-landers go, this is pretty freaking great. Well, ask and receive. Thank you, deck. Oath of Nissa, I will definitely do nothing about. If they just want to like find another land and then play like land plus elf, whatever. They do in fact find an elf, so let's see if they have the second land. They don't need one. Duh, it's an elf. Yeah. Okay, now let's see if I get got with like a Fatal Push or something. Okay, so it looks like ooh, nice. If we are asking for things, these are the things we would ask for. So let's go ahead, get my attack in. See if I end up drawing just like a land or something else nice here. Yes, and yield. Card, please. Ooh, the land drop. All right, so now I get to choose between Spell Pierce and Otawara. If my opponent plays a Kiora, I will Spell Pierce that. If they play Land Karn, I will even more happily Spell Pierce that. Wolf Willow Haven. Well, I'm not going to use a Geistlight Snare on that. You can have that. Second Wolf Willow Haven on that forest. Understood. So how much mana can they make next turn if I let that resolve? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 with a land drop, which means Storm to Festival can still be Spell Pierced. I think I actually want to Spell Pierce this. Yeah. So doing this gives my Geistlight Snare the ability to still counterspell Karn. Whereas next turn, if I let this resolve and they make another land drop, or simply have an elf in hand right now, then I don't get to use Geistlight Snare to counterspell Karn, and they did have the elf. So the difference between them making a land drop and having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 versus 8, yeah, I like that. So now they don't get to, oh, sheesh. All right. I was gonna say, but now they don't get to go land drop, play Cavalier, still resolve Cavalier through Geistlight Snare, and that's definitely something that's got to be on our radar at basically all times, right? So let's go ahead and make our land drop number 3 and pass to them, holding up Nebelgast Herald at end of turn if they don't do anything I care about, or Geistlight Snare plus Aether Gust if they do something I care about. What's this? Cavalier. Okay. I think I'm going to Aether Gust this. Yeah. The other option there was to let it resolve in the Nebelgast Herald, but I actually think want to just like use my thing, even though I didn't play this. Yeah, that's whatever. I will take this one. Oh, a second Geistlight Snare. That's pretty helpful. So let's go ahead and get an attack in now. And here, if I don't make a land drop, since I have 2 1-mana counterspells, I will play the Mausoleum Wanderer. Now I have a different, better plan. Here, I can just tap down one of these in their upkeep, restrict them down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a maximum of 6 mana, unless they play exactly a Nykthos. Let's do that. And we know that their draw step is a Cavalier of Thorns because they put it on top. So let's tap one of these elves. If they play Cavalier, I get to Geistlight Snare and untap, but now I've got my Nebelgast Herald in play. So that's going to feel pretty decent. And go away. So now we get to untap again, drawing a Seachrome Coast that I didn't particularly want here, but I will still be glad to play you, get 6 damage in, take them down to 8. I don't know, tap you, I guess. And let's see what I can draw here. Oh, that's actually pretty good. So now that I have Aether Gust and Geistlight Snare in hand, I'm definitely not playing Mausoleum Wanderer. I'm simply going to hold up my sweet counter magic. And doing this does effectively take a turn off the clock, but honest, I think I'm okay with that. Yeah, absolutely not. Nope, wrong one. So I want to be using the Aether Gust here. Yeah, this feels pretty decent, not gonna lie. I am currently only holding 7 damage up instead of 8, but they scoop anyway. So, relatively easy 2-0. Let's move on to the next round. Round 3 is here, so are we. We are on the draw with a 3-lander, some 1-drops, a Geistlight Snare. So this hand is not bad. I do want a CO to keep up with what's happening here, but let's instead draw a 4th land. Okay, understood. So what do I want to do here? I think I still want... No, I'm going to play Mausoleum Wanderer here. So playing Mausoleum Wanderer first instead of Spectral Sailor allows me to completely play around Bonecrusher Giant Stomp. If they come at me with a Blood Tithe Harvester instead, then that is medium sad times, but honestly, I'm still mostly okay here, thanks to this Rattle Chains. Okay, so they do have the Harvester, and now I have Geistlight Snare / Rattle Chains to help protect against stuff. Oh my. Oh shit, that's got potential. So now, if they sacrifice this, I can double Spectral Sailor, make it a 3/3. And sure, they can play a 3-drop after that, like Kiki-Jiki or Graveyard Trespasser, but I actually think that's even better than Rattle Chains. So let's see if they want to attack or whether Mutavault. Okay, so this is a little bit of a newer list. Like I have seen Mutavault, but I don't particularly like it in these decks. Okay, so I get to Geistlight Snare that, which is nice. And I'm aware that the shields are now down for Shieldred, but okay, still down. So this hand still does a couple of things, right? Like I'm relatively insulated against most forms of removal now. Thoughtseize. Okay. So let's Rattle Chains first. Let Rattle Chains give itself hexproof. And this still gives me the ability to let this Thoughtseize resolve. And Bonecrusher Giant is still completely played around here. If they want to Blood Tithe Harvester here, I get to put the Spectral Sailor into play, make it a 3/3, so that doesn't work. If they want to now Bonecrusher Giant Stomp, I can still sacrifice the Mausoleum Wanderer. So now if their kill spell is just like, I don't know, Power Word Kill or something, whatever. But now their Blood Tithe Harvester is not going to work either. So let's see what, if anything, you have here. Misery Shadow, you got it. Resolves. I am pretty okay with that. So, ooh, that's good too. Yes, now I get to attack here. You take 4, go down to 12. And I've got Slip Out the Back and Otawara, both of which are pretty good here. So if they decide to attack me and pump for 4, they already know I have the Otawara, right? Correct. They do know I have the Otawara. They don't know about Slip Out the Back, which is nice. Mutavault I don't particularly give a shit about. So let's see if they want to put a bunch of mana into this Misery Shadow. Okay, here I take 5, go to 12. Yes, that's allowed. You got it. And here, since I have the Mausoleum Wanderer to still play around Bonecrusher's Giant Stomp, I don't mind drawing a card here. If they Fatal Push my Rattle Chains, then so be it. Oh, well, get fucked. Alright, so now you don't have access to your Bonecrusher Giant. My Wanderer is off the table, but now I got to draw a card. I have another Mausoleum Wanderer, and Slip Out the Back plus Otawara is a pretty good defense. So this doesn't exactly make me sad. In a pinch, I could also flash in Mausoleum Wanderer as a blocker, but I think that's going to be like my option C. Fable and a Mirror Breaker. Can't do anything about that. You got it. So let's see if you want to just attack here, or do you want to fire up Mutavault as well? And it looks like they are going to fire up Mutavault as well. So choices. I can Otawara one of these, can draw a card, or I can flash in Mausoleum Wanderer. Flashing in Mausoleum Wanderer does not give me an out to being able to draw a Supreme Phantom for lethal, so what I think I'm supposed to do here is simply draw a card? Let's think about that. I can Mausoleum Wanderer, and then Slip Out the Back. After declaring Mausoleum Wanderer as a blocker targeting my own Wanderer, that gives me a 2-power Wanderer. And no, that's exactly lethal if I draw a Supreme Phantom, but that's a pretty hefty ask from the deck. So instead, I think I'm simply going to use Otawara No, I'm just going to draw a card. I'll go to 8. You got me. I'll draw a card. Whatever, opponent. So drawing a card here allows me to have a counterspell up, a potential land drop for the Hall of Storm Giants. It actually was the Supreme Phantom. Come on. Okay, so my previously described really greedy line actually would have gotten there, which is kind of hilarious, not gonna lie. So I'm gonna do this to take their shields down potentially against something like a I don't really know what this is playing around, but I'm playing around it. And I am gonna play you as a land because I also want to be able to attack with Hall of Storm Giants, but also use my slip out the back this turn. So now I can tap 2 creatures, being this and this, let them attack with the Mutavault because I don't really care about that. And then slip out the back protects one of my friends, which is nice. That's really funny that the draw actually was Supreme Phantom though. Bankbuster and Bloodtithe Harvester down. Oh no, only Bankbuster. What am I talking about? So Shacklegeist will tap you first. Shacklegeist will tap you second. If you want to attack me for 2, I don't really care. And even if they play like a Shieldred here, I just do not care. So cards I am a little worried about here. If they have like a main deck sweeper, oh, Dreadbore, that's fine. So let's slip out the back that, like my friend. And last card in hand is what? Be determined. Oh, it was Haunted Ridge. Okay. So now let's see if it's another removal spell in response here. If it is, I still have this. All right, sick. So now we get to play the card that's new and shiny and cool, being our friend Dragonlord Ojutai. I'm also going to put into Selfless Spirits. Do I want Skyclave Apparition? I think the answer is probably not. Cards I don't really care about here are all named Shacklegeist. It is good sometimes, obviously. Actually, I'm going to take out Heralds first, then Shacklegeist second. Yeah, I think I like that just a little better. So the Heralds costing 3 is actually kind of a big deal here. What does this hand do for me? Dragonlord Ojutai is a thing that they have to worry about in a few turns, but I gotta get there? I don't know, this feels a little bit rough since I'm only holding 2 lands currently, but I'll try it. Oh, that is very good, actually. I kind of wish I was holding a Spell Pierce now to play around a copy of something like, a Thoughtseize here, but if they just like Bloodtithe Harvester, then I'm also going to have a medium hard time with that. So let's, I don't know, draw 1 drop? You know what? That's not bad. So what happens here? I can Supreme Phantom now. Let them kill it using either like a second Bloodtithe Harvester or just really any kill spell like a Fatal Push or something. If they instead try to develop their board, then I can try to play around that using Spell Queller on the following turn. So they're going to get their free attack. I can't do much about that, but I am now holding up a combination of Slip Out the Back, Spell Queller, and Geistlight Snare, all of which are good. You know what? That's not even that bad either. Alright. So here I'm going to pass the turn. I can at least block the Goblin Shaman, right? Like, this isn't just stone nothing. But we're getting pretty close to that point where I get to cast Ojutai, and they do bin a Shieldred. So either they have another one, or they're just, like, really scared of me having Spell Queller, which is reasonable to be scared of it. I have it. Let's go ahead and block the Goblin Shaman here. So now getting this block in tempts them into playing a copy of Bonecrusher Giant Stomp here. If they try that, you gonna try it? No? Okay. I can also just play like an empty Spell Queller. Actually, I think I like that. So this adds to my board. Spell Queller is already kind of easy for them to kill sometimes anyway, depending on the content of their hand. So if they just want a Fatal Push here, then, oh, Power Word Kill, that's fine. Oh, well, good thing they use the Power Word Kill, because they're not going to use that here. Wahaha. And is this a Fatal Push too? A Braid, sure. So I untap, we draw a Slip Out the Back, which is actually kind of okay. And now I get to play Shacklegeist holding up Geistlight Snare and or Slip Out the Back. So if you want a Bloodtithe Harvester, then you're going to have a fairly hard time getting through 2 copies of Slip Out the Back. But I got to get another land in play so that I can make use of this lovely little Ojutai here. Can't block, which is sad times, so you got that. And I'm at 9, so I do want to be a little careful with my life total here. Thoughtseize. Ew. Well, good night, Ojutai. It's sad times. It doesn't look like you're going to see the light of day here. Oh, they took out the Geistlight Snare. Okay. On land. Come on, land. Another Kiki Jiki. That's, gonna suck for just me. So I am going to use one of these. They don't care. Tap. It is not a land, so I'm just dead on board, right? Yeah. All right, game 3. Dang, a land would have been really good there. Here I want to do that. So let's play first, and the hand is, yeah. All right, I'm in there. So the ideal scenario here is that I'm actually allowed to untap with my first Wanderer. If I am, then I get to play the second Wanderer to protect the first one and then CO. So that's kind of optimal. Am I allowed to do that? That's going to be a negative. So do I want to let them take my CO and of course 2 damage? I can follow up with Supreme Phantom, which is a good follow-up. Yeah, all right, you got it. They can deny me my card draw, but then I get to deny them a bunch of their life total. So let's see who wins that race. And they do in fact take the CO. You got it. Rattle Chains is actually pretty good as far as draws go too. So here's this. You take 3, go down to 15, and now I do want to draw another land so that I can both Wanderer and Rattle Chains or Skyclave if they play the 3/2. But honestly, I think I'm pretty okay with this. A Braid. All right, get out my face. Oh, or I just draw another CO anyway. Cool. Now let's draw a land. If I'm really asking nice, I'll take a Seachrome Coast. All right, not quite a Seachrome Coast, but you won't catch me complaining about that. So they know I have Skyclave and Mausoleum. They do not know I have Rattle Chains. So here you can play 2 removal spells to make an attempt to kill my Supreme Phantom. There's the first one. So now if the second one is just like power word kill, then yeah, sucks to be me. So I'm still going to try it though. Oh, hell yeah. So if you have a Stomp, I guess you can stomp my Rattle Chains. You don't. You have a Reckoner Bankbuster. That is mostly okay. I already... Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, let's just attack then. If this starts to get out of hand, I do have instant speed Skyclave Apparition. That's good for next turn. So now if they just go, I don't know, tap out for a 4-drop, like Shieldred or something, then I can instant speed Skyclave, untap, get a lethal attack in. I can also Spell Pierce plus... Oh, that's not good for you. Okay, I was gonna say, I'm like, if that's your plan, then that plan sucks. What do I want to do here? I think the answer is actually nothing. So if I Mausoleum Wanderer and they respond with 2 removal spells, then my Supreme Phantom can die. As it stands, I'm the one who's making them tap a bunch of mana here, so, oh, I really don't care about that. You got it. That is all day. As long as it's not exactly Rending Valley. That's fine. So let's play around Rending... Oh, never mind, they're off it. Hell yeah. 3-0 over Rakdos. Let's keep it going, y'all. All right, we're in round 4. We are on the draw yet again, but my hand is pretty decent. Theme Vents could mean opt without knowing what I'm playing. I mean, if they know my name, they're... Oh, hell yeah. Oh my god, that's kind of excellent, actually. So now I just want like a 1-piece or 1 mana something to protect this. But also, I want 1 piece. 1 piece is just great. So let's see if this is something other than Ledger Shredder. It is Chart a Course. Okay, so yeah, this is actually pretty sick. So being on the draw against Phoenix does suck, but they don't have a Phoenix in the yard. They, I guess. And I don't need to walk my Spectral Sailor into removal, so I can simply cast Rattle Chains or cast Supreme Phantom and just like untap here. Yeah, I don't need to walk into anything, so I'm simply not going to. So now next turn, I can play a CO and back it up with a copy of Rattle Chains here, and that'll feel pretty decent. There's pieces of the puzzle. You got it. So I'll do this, give itself hexproof, and now let's see how many Phoenixes you get to dump. You dump 1 Phoenix. They are playing Mercurial Spell Dancer. They get opt in pieces of the puzzle. You got it. Up. Another CO. Ooh. Now, how do I want to approach this turn? Because next turn is going to get fucked up. So, I mean, if I'm just keeping it real. So let's start here. And the idea behind doing this is that I can flash in Supreme Phantom if nothing terrible happens to my Rattle Chains, and a second CO will put it at 4 toughness. Okay. And now the Rattle Chains also just protects this Rattle Chains from any removal too, which is nice. They could just have 2 pieces of removal and that would suck. And with 8 cards in their hand, that's honestly kind of likely. But for what it is, I think this gives me the highest chance of having a really big upside. They do have a second Phoenix though, so yikes. They started with Consider, there's Fiery Impulse. So now if they have a second piece of removal, there's nothing I can do about it. Okay, so yeah, so they waited for me to declare my target, so now they have a, I don't know, Lightning Axe maybe? Fiery Impulse number 2, you got it. So there's 3 spells, there's 2 Phoenixes coming back, and I won't lie and say I'm not sad about that. So here I go to 12 if they attack with both. And I will just let that happen. Right. They got 5 cards in hand. There's no point in me fucking with that. So now let's... Oh, come on. All right. So I'm going to open up here. They have Spell Pierce. I think I gotta let that one slide. Because you're a Seachrome Coast, Now what? If the Seachrome Coast was an untapped land, I could have just said fuck it and played the second CO holding up Supreme Phantom, but I'm not really going to have that luxury here. So I think I want to simply cast my Supreme Phantom, get an attack in for 5. I can take 1 attack here, go to 6, and then worry about defense on the following turn. But honestly, this is just like not going to be a good look. But of course to start, so God, they have a 3rd Phoenix? They do. Gross. Okay, there's the opt. We already knew they had that. And if this is just like a lightning axe, then we're pretty dead. Oh, a treasure cruise. Okay. Well, that's bad too. So now they have treasure cruise, 3 things here. And if the last card in hand is a removal spell, or rather if their last mana is used for a removal spell, then that just sucks. But as it stands, they're just going to be able to reanimate this thing, attack me for 9. Oh, it's also a lightning axe. Okay, so basically what you're saying is there's no hope now. Okay, so we go to 3. Sad times there. Do I have any live draws? That is not one of them. All right, that sucks. So now against Phoenix. Phoenix is awkward. I do want Portable Hole to protect against any copies of like Shredder / Mercurial Spelldancer. Let's do this. I don't really think that I want the Nebelgast Heralds or the Aether Gusts. Yeah, I think I'll play like this. It is going to be a little bit unfortunate trying to play catch up because us being on the draw was really bad that game. If we had been on to play, it might have been a little better, but it is what it is. All right, so now this time we get to play first, and this hand is not great, but it is acceptable. So if I get to untap with a Supreme Phantom that I could play on turn 2, then suiting it up or using Skyclave Apparition, either way, I'm probably not super sad about the way that goes. But here I don't have a Spectral Sailor to flash in, which is a little bit sad times. And this deck sides into God, peek at the devil. Thanks, deck. All right, so I'm still going to maximize my mana here. I'm already not going to be able to protect the Spectral Sailor this turn anyway, so I might as well make the best use of my mana. And if this is just like a Rending Valley, okay. I was going to say, if that was a Rending Valley, then there was already nothing I could do about it. Shredder can get a Skyclave Apparition, so that at least is nice. And that is what I'm gonna do here? Or do I want to hold up a counterspell to get rid of pieces of the puzzle? No. I think I'm going to just Skyclave now. Go away. So we do that, we get an attack in, and if I am allowed to untap with Supreme Phantom, I will be glad to put CO on it, even though they can kill my Skyclave Apparition for a token. Spelldancer is pretty good. So this is going to be the part where we really, if we end up like kind of fucking around and finding out, right? Like Spelldancer has a pretty sweet amount of potential. So flap our hands, pray to the gods that this card is not named Rending Valley. Not Rending Valley. Mystical Dispute. That's fine. Mausoleum Wanderer counters Mystical Dispute. Okay. So you have an oil counter on the thing, I get to resolve my CO, I get to attack for a bunch, and I'm fine with like not holding up to block because this can't be blocked. So not really gonna play around a non-existent scenario by holding back my Skyclave here. So they take 5, they go to 14, I get to draw a card, hopefully it's named Slip Out the Back if I'm making requests here, which since I'm down a game, I totally am. Rattle Chains is pretty good for next turn, but I don't have a land to use it, so meh. And you still have to pay mana to use the spell, right? Yes, okay. Although the Spelldancer's really sick. Like, I'm honestly kind of a fan. So, can't do much about this. And the fact that they didn't have a spell pre-combat means I'm probably staring down, what? A Charter Course post-combat? It's not like they don't have 2 oil counters, so they can't double cast a spell. So the only reason to have a spell in hand and not cast it pre-combat is... Oh, alright, well... guess that's fine. They gotta be looking for a Charter Course post-combat here. Goodbye, Ledger Shredder. Okay. So now I just want to untap with my Supreme Phantom in play. If you want to kill my Skyclave, so be it. This way I can hold up Rattle Chains plus Geistlight Snare, and that almost completely plays around any option they could have. So that's what I really want to happen. As long as they don't do that thing like last game where, you know, you just see 3 Phoenixes in the top 20 cards. That happens a lot. Like, honestly, way more often than it has any right to. Fiery Impulse. I'm not going to do anything about that. Let's think about that. So, Fiery Impulse, target my Skyclave Apparition. If they have a Rending Valley, I already can't protect against it. And, oh, Lightning Axe exists. Never mind. You can have that. I was going to say, there is no 1 mana thing that can do 4 damage that's not Rending Valley, but Lightning Axe is a magic card that exists in the world, so I'm just not going to walk into that if I can help it. So let's go ahead, attack for 2, get ready to draw a card, and now that I have my Rattlechain's mana up, I'm a lot happier about the way this game looks. Spell Pierce, that's also pretty decent. So Spell Pierce specifically being able to counter like a pieces of the puzzle without having to use my Geistlight snares on more effective things, like, I don't know, just them hard casting a Phoenix, for example. This I take 4, that's kind of whatever, and you can double cast something here, and they will do that. So now what? What are we double casting? Is it just like pieces of the puzzle dump over like 45 cards? Honestly, that sounds kind of lit if that's their plan. So how does this read? When you cast your next instant or sorcery spell. Okay. So now they have double Lightning Axe. So I'm going to let them put their second copy on the stack. Okay. So now that their spells are both on the stack here, I can now cast my Rattlechains and try to give it hexproof from both. If they have a Mystical Dispute, I can dispute back. They do have a dispute. And do I want to Spell Pierce or Geistlight? I guess I'm going to Spell Pierce and really cry if they have another dispute. Oh my god, are we getting away with one, or do they just have a Rending Valley now? No, we got away with one. Let's go, let's go. All right, sick. Won't lie and say I wasn't scared. So there's no reason for me to make a land drop before attacking, so I simply won't. A Portable Hole. Yes, I will take 2. And I will happily get rid of that fucking Spell Dancer. That card is really good. All right, and it looks like we're going to game 3. So do I want to change anything for game 3? I think the answer is probably no. No, that's false. I do want to take out the Spell Quellers and put in Selfless Spirits on the draw, I think. Yeah, let's do that. And our hand is, yeah, all right. I'm certainly in for this. So I have a lot of options available, right? Like I've got 1-drops into CO. I've got Portable Hole for either of their really good 2-drops. Don't necessarily want the basic planes currently, but even that's not bad. Like a land drop is actively good. So I am going to do this and give myself the chance to draw into like resolving a Spectral Sailor and then like CO plus Portable Hole on the Ledger Shredder maybe. Okay, so there is in fact the Ledger Shredder, you got it. And there's my Hall of Storm Giants. Okay, cool. So I'm going to get rid of your big bad. I get the fuck out of my face. And do I want to draw a card and risk them having a red land? Or do I want to play Mausoleum Wanderer and get rid of, I don't know, like island plus pieces of the puzzle? I think I want to advance my own plan for a turn. And yeah, if you get me with a removal spell, then whatever, you got me. But I already got to replace my card. Don't really want that, but I guess it is what it is. Chart a course. Okay, so they're looking for... Oh, they found a Phoenix, damn it. And they got a Fiery Impulse. Okay. No! Alright, let's play our 2-drop. And I'm going to hold off on the Wanderer because I still want to be able to Spell Pierce like a copy of Pieces of the Puzzle or something similar. So I'll give myself a chance to be able to do that. Tapping mana a little better. Yes, they are. There's the Pieces of the Puzzle we talked about. So now let's see if my Spell Pierce gets to resolve. It doesn't. So they are going to get to dump cards into their graveyard, which sucks for me potentially. They find a second Phoenix and a Treasure Cruise? Jesus Christ. And Storm's Wrath goes into their hand. Okay. So luckily at least Storm's Wrath by itself isn't that good, but like finding a Treasure Cruise sucks so bad for me. And then 2 Phoenixes in the first 20 cards? Like why do they always have it? All right. So enough complaining. Let's get an attack in here. We're going to play our Wanderer, and let's see if we have some kind of defense against this madness. Consider first, okay. And I actually like the fact that they considered here, because if they don't, damn it, I was going to say if they don't play a land first, now I can use this on their Treasure Cruise, but yeah. But it looks like now they're just going to be able to pay 3. So if they do cash Treasure Cruise now, I'm still going to use my Geistlight Snare, because if they paid a 3 mana for it, then they have to choose between drawing a card, tapping out and not being able to cast another spell, because I am going to double counter, or they just don't get to draw 3 cards. They still get to dump this into the battlefield if they have a 3rd spell and choose to like not do this. All right, so we have dodged the Phoenix shenanigans for this turn, but I'm still nowhere near safe. Is medium helpful. So what am I looking out for here? They've got Storm's Wrath. Yeah, I know about Storm's Wrath plus 2 other cards. Okay. Opt. Okay. So they can just find 2 more spells too. No, please stop. and don't have another counterspell to back this up. Okay, maybe don't have a 1-drop? Oh my god, do they actually just not have a 1-drop? Skyclave. That's helpful later. We get to attack here. They can pre-combat Storm's Wrath if they want to just get this off the table. If they just like dump Phoenixes into play using ops and considers and stuff, then I can at least Skyclave and protect it from Storm's Wrath with this. That's not nothing. Or they just have another Treasure Cruise. All right, that sucks a lot. Opt, so they have a 1-drop in hand and they're looking for a land? Yeah, damn it. All right, so they have 2 of these now. They can attack me for 6. I go to 10. If they attack with 1 and leave back a blocker, I'm a lot happier about that. But looks like that's not what's going to happen. Okay, so what do I really want here? I suppose I want another counterspell. I'm also dangerously close to just dying from the Hall of Storm Giants too, so I got a lot of work to do. That is actually pretty helpful. So I get to get rid of you, play you, and attack for 3, while I'm still relatively protected from Storm's Wrath, which is nice. So you go to 9, I, in theory, go to 7, in theory. What are we doing? So the thing that I really want to dodge in their 6-card hand, so fairly unlikely, is just like a 1-mana or 2-mana removal spell here, but they left up double blue, so I guess I'm not scared of that. So now their Phoenix goes away, but they can revive it. So do you have 2 cantrips to get your thing back? Shredder, that's fine. You draw a Hallowed Fountain. I definitely did not want that. So I'm just gonna attack here. They should block here, I assume, and then take 3, go to 6. So I get to play my Hallowed Fountain here, and I have 1 more land drop to make until I can attack with the Hall of Storm Giants too, so that's not nothing. But they have 5 cards in hand. I have so much work to do. That sucks for me. Okay. Oh, that is absolutely miserable. And to be fair, a second Ledger Shredder isn't much better, but oh my Lanta. A 13-4, huh? So how do I even get out of this, right? Like I do have live draws, to be fair, but not a whole lot of them. That is not one of them. Oh, we are so dead. Is there anything I can do here? All they have to do is fire this up and I just lose, right? Yeah, all right. Like, if they attack here, I gotta block with Supreme Phantom. This is still a free blocker. That's a free blocker. This literally doesn't do anything because they just fire this up. All right, I'm off it. So that's unfortunate. Let's move on to the last round. All right, last round in Jesus Christ, what is this? All right, well, we finally win a die roll, which is nice, but our hand was absolute garbo. So here, I'll be pretty happy to just go ahead and put back the Hallowed Fountain and get this start. On the play, this isn't that bad. On the draw, this would have been absolutely miserable. Oh, hey, person's being pleasant. So let's go ahead, put this Hallowed Fountain back here, and see if we can get to a half-decent start here. So Seachrome Coast into Hall of Storm Giants is pretty damn good. And, oh, are we fighting a mirror in the last round? Oh, man, I kind of hope not for the sake of my current hand. But Shacklegeist is a really good draw if we are. So let's see if that is what ends up happening here. Are you a... Nope, not a Spectral Sailor. And we're playing against Bant. Okay, got it. So we're both going to resolve a Shacklegeist here. And now I want to make a choice. Do I want to resolve... Oh my. Do I just want to start resolving Supreme Phantoms? Or do I want to hold up Spell Queller in the hopes to just kind of like, you know, stop whatever their turn 3 play is, especially if it's named like Empyrean Eagle or something. Here, I'm just going to start being really aggressive because I know I have 2 more Lords I can start deploying. So instead of like worrying about whatever the Shacklegeist might want to do, I'm just going to start ramming damage down their throat. And a Skyclave Apparition gets rid of my Shacklegeist, which, oh no, it's going to get rid of my Supreme Phantom. Oh, all right. Well, I don't know if I approve that message, but it's going to happen. So I get attacked here. Maybe, maybe not. Geistlight Snare. That does almost nothing for me. All right. So not drawing a 4th land is honestly kind of a small disaster here because I'm not going to get to attack. And that also means that I'm not going to get to block. If they make a land drop here, then they get to just like hold up Coco for basically the entire rest of the game. So if I'm being completely honest, I think we've lost to the combo of Skyclave Apparition plus just like hold up mana here. So I got to draw a land if I really want to participate, and at least we do get to draw the land. So now I'm going to start to go to combat. They tap my friend. I cry about it. And here I'm going to try to walk myself into, hopefully they're not sandbagging a land. If so, then I got super next leveled. Or if they're just, oh, okay, well, I guess that plays. It's this, a Rattle Chains. Rattle Chains is going to happen. And a Mausoleum Wanderer. So if I want to counter a Coco off the top, I'm simply not going to be able to because Wanderer's on the table now. They can use Wanderer as Shacklegeist Fighter, tap this, untap, attack me for up to 6, 7, and I still don't get to counter a Collected Company. So I actually am going to counterspell this, and if they just immediately untap and have like another Skyclave Apparition or something, then I'm just fucking dead. So it is what it is. So let's see how bad this could be. Okay, a Seacrum Coast, Empyrean Eagle. I was worried about that previously, but if I had let Wazlian Wanderer resolved and I already wasn't doing anything about the Empyrean Eagle anyway, so it's kind of a moot point. I go to 14 here and untap into a land, a CO. Oh, okay. I don't get to attack with the Shacklegeist here because they're just going to get to tap it down, but I do have, I can just do this. Yeah, let's just do that. So now if they want to tap down the Supreme Phantom, then sure, that's annoying, but I get to hold Spell Queller. I get to attack for 3 with Shacklegeist, or yeah, I get to attack for 3 with Shacklegeist, I guess. And at least, oh, they're just going to let me attack. I guess I'm just going to do this then. They can block here, but at least I get to do to 3 damage. I already was never going to get to block anyway because they still have 2 untapped creatures. And the Spell Queller is not the worst. So, okay. And if next turn looks anything similar to what this turn looks like, I can hopefully draw a land, untap, Supreme Phantom, hold up Spell Queller, and then just kind of like try to make life a little miserable. But this is going to be hard. We are attacking for 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so I would go to 4 here, and I still am stuck respecting a Coco. So, yeah. We do at least draw the land. So that's actually decent-ish. So let's see if they Coco here. They do, and I have the Spell Queller to deal with the Coco. Away. So now I'm attacking for 7. How do I lose if I attack for 7 and put them on a 2-turn clock? I should definitely not do that. I'm just going to attack for 3. I have already played a land for the turn. Yeah, I played a basic island. All right. Ooh, boy. How do we get out of this? Jackal-Geist can tap things down. Another Skyclave is immediately miserable. Supreme Phantom does matter, but oh, fuck. All right. You're only 3. So I can tap you using these 2. Oh, no, I'm still dead. What the hell am I talking about? I'm dead. So here I want Mystical Disputes, I want Portable Holes, and I think that's going to be it. I don't particularly care about the Slip Out the Backs, and, excuse me, I don't want to try out the Ojutais. I don't think they're good here, but I kind of want to try them out. Is that crackheaded if I try them here? It might be. Oh, I'm going to try them. I simply want to try them. I don't actually think it's good against the Mystical Dispute deck, obviously, but it is good against, like, Spell Queller and friends. Oh, come on. Why? Not much I can do about that. This is also rough. So here I gotta put back the 5-drop, right? But I do at least have a chance to like start drawing creatures into CO. This is not a good 6. No, this hand doesn't do anything. Get out of here. This is somehow a lot better. I'll keep this, put back 1, put back 2, and hope that this is a good enough plan. This plan sucks. All right, well, it looks like we may have gone 3-2 in this league, y'all, but I am definitely going to at least give ourselves a chance to try with this. So, since I'm on the play, the option does exist of them simply not having a 1-drop, which is what happened. I get to... Oh, fuck, I'm so stupid. Why did I do that? I just auto-clicked, and now this is going to come in tapped and ruin my entire plan. Okay, that was just a blank. I don't even know what that was all about. I've probably lost myself the game. So realistically, was I winning the game anyway? Probably not. But that doesn't mean I had to go out of my way to try to lose. Here, what do I want to do? I think I have to force the issue. So if they rattle chains in response or something here, they do. Okay, good. That actually is like best case scenario. So now I can do this. I can Portable Hole, get rid of your rattle chains, get my attack in with CO, attempt to draw something to get out of this, and then my next CO can go ahead and my next Portable Hole can in theory get rid of something, Supreme Phantom 2. So I've honestly played slash mulled like an absolute donkey here, but I think our opponent may have given us a chance to fight back, and I'm not going to play the Supreme Phantom yet because I want to give myself a chance to draw a counterspell, or okay, so no counterspell, but I do get to flash in Supreme Phantoms. And hopefully none of these mana is used on like a Skyclave. That would really suck. Selfless Spirit is fine-ish. So now let's see if this is a Mystical Dispute that you're holding. It is not. Well, now I am. Sick. So I get to attack with both here? If they play a Spectral Sailor, no, they do nothing, and I get to draw. Hallowed Fountain. What does that do for me? Nothing on its own. So it can come into play tapped. Do I... Oh, fuck. No, that was bad. I should have left it untapped. Yeah, I'm just playing really bad. So if they play like a Collect the Company here, now I'm not going to be able to have both Mystical Dispute and Supreme Phantom up, and that could potentially put off my win by a whole turn. That's kind of a lot in this scenario, but it looks like I'm going to get away with one because I drew Geistlight Snare. So let's do this. Give ourselves a chance to play here. That is actually fine. They can try to double block my Rattle Chains here. That's not happening though. So if they want to double block, I still get to flash in my Supreme Phantom. No, nothing. All right, so they just take 5, go to 4. I draw a card. It is a Spectral Sailor, which is also pretty good for me. Yeah, I think we got away with one because there is no way they should have gone this well. All right, so you're just kind of chilling on defense here, and I am going to flash in my Spectral Sailor first. So let's see if you do anything about that. I'm not. Oh, wait. Oh, no, you just have a Spectral Sailor of your own. Okay, that's fine. You only have 1 card left in hand, which means I can safely play around things like Collect the Company here. If this is a Mystical Dispute, then so be it. Okay, looks like we're going to game 3. Scary stuff, but... do I want to make changes on the draw? I could play smart and put in Skyclave Apparition instead of the Dragon Lords here, being on the draw. Yeah, fine. Whatever, I'll play correctly. I still really want him to play my Big Dumb Dragon. I don't think that's, really reasonable on the draw here. This hand is okay. Like, Spectral Sailor is a pretty good turn 1 to have here. And if I can... Oh, come on. Not a 5th land. So I suppose with my 5th land here, I get to at least feign being sad about taking the Dragon Lords out of the deck, because now I actually have the mana to guaranteed play it. But let's see if my Spectral Sailor resolves before continuing my my little complaint rant here. Another Spectral Sailor is not actually good, so let's attack, see what happens here. I assume the answer is probably nothing, but I'm not walking my Shacklegeist into 2 open mana, though. That's just not happening. So that is a Rattle Chains, which I don't particularly care about, at least not on its own. I do worry a little bit about them having Empyrean Eagle at instant speed here, because that's going to be like the best time to play this thing, right? So here I'm going to put in Spectral Sailor, and if they have Empyrean Eagle or Supreme Phantom at instant speed, then you got me. If not, sick. Definitely didn't see that coming. So if... Oh, what? What? Okay. I tried my best to walk that into a thing, and I just don't have counter magic now, so this is just going to suck. So if they have exactly like Greenland plus Coco, then I'm just uber dead. But I'm super dead unless this is just a terrible Coco. Well, that's bad too. But at least we put the Skyclaves back in. We have our own portable holes, so we can fight this fight. I just don't want to fight this fight. Self of Spirit, that's fine. And Spectral Sailor is the last card. Oh, I'm sorry, second to last card. Mausoleum Wanderer's actually kind of good. So yeah, let's cast things. And this might be the game this league where we are especially happy about drawing into more lands for our Hall of Storm Giants. So I am going to attack here. If you want to block, so be it. If you don't want to block, almost better, but I am glad for the opportunity to be able to counter Collect the Company now. So as long as they don't like Portable Hole, Untapped Land, Coco, I'm not that sad. I will definitely just take 3 here. Oh, come on. You know, I don't like this, but at least I get to just draw cards with Spectral Sailor and try to like progress the game state here. Like, they have 2 cards to my 2 cards, but like admittedly, oh well, that's my plan too. So I was gonna say, but admittedly, their cards are a little bit bigger and better currently, but I won't lie and say I'm sad about having Spectral Sailor at least. So I really don't want to block with my Spectral Sailor either, so I'm just going to take the 3 here. Because if I'm already not doing anything, then I don't want to like lose my potential source of keeping up on cards with them. That's actually kind of good for me. So I've got 1 more land drop to make until I can start firing off things. So here I'm just going to probably be pretty happy if this gets to resolve. And oh my god, it just does. It goes. You can double block Mausoleum Wanderer. You can Coco. You can double block Spectral Sailor. I think I'm going to do this. And yeah, let's try to take back the advantage bar, if you will, here. Especially since I'm the one with a giant creature land right now, too. So this Hall of Storm Giants is a bit real, not really something that my opponent should be sleeping on either. I think I do counter a Rattle Chains if they try it. Okay, so they're just going to take this and go down to 10, which is actively great for me. Let's see what happens here. Okay, so they're going to draw a card with Spectral Sailor. You got it. It can, of course, do the same at the end of this turn. And what are my priorities here? If that's a Portable Hole, then I cry about that. Yeah, so they get the Portable Hole, get rid of one of my Lords, which is honestly kind of terrible. Yeah, that's going to happen. But if they attack all here, they don't. Yeah. And now I'm going to draw another card here and see what happens here. Portable Hole. That is actively great for me. So is Shacklegeist. Well, Portable Hole buys back my Supreme Phantom. I cast Shacklegeist. I still have all of my counterspell mana. Okay. So I want... Ooh, do I want Shacklegeist or Supreme Phantom more? I think I want Supreme Phantom more. Okay. So now that's in. I have way more than enough mana to be able to pay for a Mystical Dispute here. A Spell Queller. Okay. So that does not play around Mystical Dispute, but it does allow me... I could still use this just fine. So if their last card is a Mystical Dispute, then... Oh, sick. It's not. So it looks like we've probably just won this game. So here I want to... What? Tap this down, attack for 10, force a block, they go to 2, I'm at 11. Yeah, that feels pretty decent. So I want to tap you, tapping the 2 that just came into play. And now they have to choose between sacrificing Spectral Sailor or Selfless Spirit just to stay alive. That's fine. They can double block my Supreme Phantom and go to 2, and they sacrifice their Selfless Spirit, but my point still gets across that way. And they're still at 2, holding up 3 creatures to my 5, to my 4, and I still have the Hall of Storm Giants for next turn too. So yeah, I'm still pretty happy about that. So ways this can go south, they can untap and immediately have like a Spectral Sailor, a Skyclave Apparition, or Portable Hole getting rid of my Shacklegeist or a Lord. That'd be kind of miserable. Oh, come on, don't. This is what I get for speaking things into existence, okay? So, do we take a Lord or Shacklegeist? I kind of want them to take the Supreme Phantom. They take the Portable Hole. Okay. That doesn't change anything other than the fact that if I get rid of Skyclave Apparition, I simply get a smaller token back. That's fine. So, Shacklegeist is the one they take. Damn it. Shacklegeist is the one I wanted. And what happens with this 2 mana here? Or, yeah, do we make an attack for 3? Or do we simply chill for a turn? We chill for a turn. Okay, so I'm going to be the one who gets to untap here into a pathway that I don't really want. If I attack all, that is terrible. Actual dog shit. So let's not do that. Instead, I'm simply going to draw a card first and see if I can draw into like a Skyclave or something else useful. A CO. That is medium useful? That is only medium useful. Okay, so I'm going to wait another turn here so I can draw another card. But this is starting to slip away here. I do really want one of my Shacklegeist back. I'm actually pretty glad they weren't able to put that in untapped because this can still counter a CO. Or a Collected Company, rather. You can attack me for 3 safely-ish. Yeah, that's fine. So I go to 8. Now I get to draw a card. And what is the card that I draw? No. Yes. All right. So, Portable Hole first. So now I want to free my Shacklegeist using the Portable Hole. So let's see if this resolves. You have a Shacklegeist, yeah. Okay. So now I want to put you up. And a CO should go on Supreme Phantom to make sure it is 2 power. And this way I can just click attack all. So now if they have something smart to say, it should probably be now. A way this goes south is if they are holding Collected Company, they can use that as a removal spell for my Mausoleum Wanderer. So that's a little miserable. So instead of doing that, what I think I'll do here is simply use you, tap you. And this way I have 4 attackers to 3 blockers. Yeah, because I do want the tap you. Now I have more attackers than you have blockers. Rattle Chains. That is actually kind of trash for me. Damn, that's actually really bad. All right, so I'm still going to attack with my 7/7. Oof. So who do you throw under the bus here? So there's no way they can more than single block, which is nice. But I guess they have to choose between like getting rid of Rattle Chains and Selfless Spirit. No, they're just going to get rid of Skyclave. I'm actually pretty okay with that. I only get a 1/1 token out of this, but if I draw like another CO, then I can put it on the illusion token, make it a 2/2, and that still presents itself as a lethal attacker. And I currently have 2 blockers, which is nice. They have 2 cards left too, so they have 6 mana. They can resolve a Coco finally, and it looks like that is probably what's happening. Yeah, can't do anything about that. So I really just kind of have to hope that this isn't the best Coco ever for them. That sucks for me. Don't like that for me. Honestly, most Cocos here really count as the best Coco ever. So they do have a bunch more lords they can find, including any number of Supreme Phantoms, who is any number. So wait, I can't live. Shit. Oh no! I just died. Why? Oh, we were doing so good too. All right, whatever. Go ahead and click attack all. You got me. Oh, that sucks. All right. Well, unfortunate times. So we go 3-2, and that is gonna be really sad times for us. All right, and honestly, with the way that a lot of our hands looked and stuff like that, I don't really know whether I'm happy or sad about having gone 3-2 in this league, right? Like, we ended up having a couple of situations where our sideboard cards really mattered, and the Dragonlord Ojutais were, honestly, there were a couple of situations where they looked pretty decent, and I very well could have ended up wanting them. But in the matchup against Rakdos, where I really wanted them the most, I ended up just like not having access to the 5th land that we needed. Got just kind of like stuck on 4, but we ended up winning that matchup anyway. So like the regular normal Spirits plan worked out just fine there. And against Bant Spirits, that is one of the matchups that is, it's just really tough. Like, it's always tough for mono blue to beat up basically the same strategy, but a little bit bigger than yours. And we did get to fight some really intense close fights, right? Like the Spectral Sailor draw thing was happening with both of us. I got to attack with the Hall of Storm Giants after a bit, and that was relevant. But there were turns where even with the mulligans, right, it was just really tough to figure out who was going to win that game at any point during the matchup. So even though we ended up losing that matchup, I don't really think I'm sad about that. Like, I think a Nebelgast Herald at any point in time would have probably broken that game wide open, and the ability to draw it was there, and we simply didn't. And the same kind of goes for like a Skyclave Apparition, right? Like, on the turn where we tried to Shacklegeist proactively to kill our opponent, yeah, sure, they had a Rattle Chains, but like, you know, that would have happened to like a Skyclave Apparition or a Nebelgast too. So I think we had a lot of potential to really draw our way out of there, even when you include like the clunkiness, me just playing lands in the wrong order like a donkey, and then of course being able to just kind of overpower what our opponent was doing, and then having them overpower us right back just through the power of Collected Company resolving. So that's a cool thing that really happens, and unfortunately we just don't get the double Supreme Phantom Cocos ever, which is why I generally don't play that deck. But you know, good stuff to our opponents. And then Phoenix, I think that like we really could have come away with that matchup too. Like the Phoenix matchup was obviously really tough, just like Phoenix is tough anyway. But if we were to just take out these two Dragonlord Ojutais for something a little more conventional, like, I don't know, Unlicensed Hearse, Remorseful Cleric, anything along those veins, then that matchup would honestly have probably been not that difficult, because we had all of the tools that we really needed, even considering the fact that we're not playing Graveyard Hate right now. So it was kind of fucked up seeing the things where they go like Ledger Shredder, Crackling Drake. Like, you know, sometimes there's just nothing you can do about those kind of draws. But I think like a single Unlicensed Hearse or two would have been completely fine in cracking that matchup open. So all in all, I'm not really sad about the way this league went, even though 3-2 is not a record I necessarily desire. It does bring down the win average quite a bit, but it is what it is. Anyway, enough crying and ranting. This deck was really fun to play. I did like the mana. So the second Hall of Storm Giants, that was previously a Mutavault, I think I like it as a second Hall of Storm Giants, because we had multiple hands where we were just like crossing our fingers when trying to play a Curious Obsession on a 1-drop, and we really wanted the second blue source to be able to protect it with something like a Spell Pierce or a Slip Out the Back. So the fact that we gave ourselves the second blue source with Hall of Storm Giants rather than like a clunky colorless mana like a Mutavault would have to protect our friends and get our game plan going, I think that was a huge plus, and that's not something I plan on cutting. And that's really, I think, going to be the end of my input for the mana. Like, we tried to smooth out the mana using Seachrome Coast and Hall of Storm Giants. it is really smooth. And anytime, as we saw, that we wanted to cast Skyclave Apparition, we had the colors to do that. Anytime we wanted double blue so that we can CO and protect, we had the ability to do that. And the only difference between whether we were keeping or mulling hands was simply the number of lands in our hand. And we're playing 22 lands as it stands. So even though we did draw 5 and 6 lands multiple times this league, that is still okay. That's just a thing that's going to happen when you play however many games you play, right? Like, averages will simply happen. You're just going to draw 5 and 6 lands. So I don't think today's experience is any reason to like cut a land. Do not do that based on 5 matches, please. But the sideboard, I don't know. Maybe the Elder can come out for something else like Unlicensed Hearse, and I'll just continue to play this league until I find, or rather play this deck in leagues until I find a version of the sideboard that I actively love, instead of finding one that's kind of like fine. Because I think that's where I'm at right now. I think the main deck is excellent and the sideboard is fine. So I'll keep tuning out the last like 2 to 4 spots until we can really come into a consensus as to something that's really just as good as the main deck, if not somehow better. But that means I'm open to suggestions, so put right in the comment section what cards you would play in the sideboard. Like, would you play Unlicensed Hearse? Would you play Rest in Peace? Would you play these Dragonlord Ochitais? I've seen some people like Brazilian player Remph recommending things like Takasia's Welcome to help play around Rakdos Midrange. There's a lot of options available in white and blue, so let me know exactly what you would do with those last 2 to 4 spots. Anyway, that's going to be it for today. If you like what you saw, as always, make sure to click the like button, let me know, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll see y'all on the next one.